want to transition to the Cleveland Browns. I just mentioned them as a potential interesting wild card trade destination for Jimmy Garoppolo. But when you look at their actual roster right now, the only news that's come out of their camp outside of the Deshaun Watson news, of course, has been with Kareem Hunt, their number 2 running back, making that dynamic backfield with Nick Chubb. And so far, Kareem Hunt has come out and said yesterday that he wants a new contract extension or he wants to be traded because he just missed his second straight day of practice. He skipped out on drills, on team drills. And this is a guy in Kareem Hunt who obviously has had an interesting start to his NFL career, to say the least. He's 27, just turned 27 on Saturday, just completed his 5th season in the NFL. And here's what we know about Kareem Hunt. Setting aside his talent, we know what his off-the-field past transgressions were. He was cut by the Kansas City Chiefs after assaulting a woman in a hotel. He was cut by the Chiefs, missed the second half of the 2018 season. The Browns sign him, has to miss the first 8 games of the 2019 season. The Browns give him another chance. They give him a second chance. They sign him on the cheap because he was willing to simply play for nothing for a 1-year contract. Then they extended him 2 more years for the 2020 and 2021, or in 2020. After 2020, they extended him. Of course, he had a tremendous season, over 1,100 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns that season. 2021, the start of the year, they extended him for 2 more seasons, for last year and this upcoming season. 2 years, $12 million. He had a shortened injury 2021 campaign because of calf and ankle injuries and ailments. So he really wasn't as productive. He wasn't that healthy last season. Only amassed 560 total yards and 5 touchdowns in 8 games played. So that's the past of Kareem Hunt. But what we know about the Cleveland Browns is they've obviously had a checkered past, present, and future as far as guys that they've signed, guys with past transgressions off the field, questionable signings. And of course, they were perhaps the only team that was willing to take a chance on Kareem Hunt so soon after he was released by the Kansas City Chiefs. And again, Kareem Hunt is an extremely talented running back. There was a reason why the Chiefs took him. He was extremely productive his rookie year, and then 11 games into his second season, that's when he shoved and kicked a woman out of Cleveland, ironically enough, a Cleveland hotel. So what the people you sign, the players you sign, can sometimes be a direct reflection of your organization, the message you're trying to send. And what the Cleveland Browns have shown, especially recently, is when you are an incompetent franchise, when you are a losing franchise, you're willing to do whatever it takes to win, because winning comes at a premium. When you are starving, when you're salivating for wins and for a winning culture, you're willing to sign guys with checkered pasts. And obviously they just signed Deshaun Watson, fully guaranteed, $230 million, fully guaranteed, in a desperate move in search of wins. So as far as morally or ethically where the Browns stand, that doesn't matter to them. So signing him, it's not a matter at this point of, well, is he a good character fit? The question is whether they want to pay him and pay him more. And I think that their number one priority at the running back position is and will continue to be Nick Chubb, as it should, because Nick Chubb is their number one running back option. But I do think that Kareem Hunt was instrumental in forming that dynamic backfield. I think that he provides a little bit more versatility and a unique element to this team into that running back position that Nick Chubb doesn't necessarily provide, because Kareem Hunt is a really unique running back. He's almost akin to Alvin Kamara. He's got great hands, so he can collect huge yards after the catch. You can line him up in the slot or the backfield. He's not quite as physical and as much of a bruiser type of traditional running back as Nick Chubb is. He's certainly strong, Kareem Hunt, but he's not built the same way that Nick Chubb is. And so he's kind of a little slithery. He finds little nicks and crannies and able to fit himself and maneuver, juke past guys. He's a really clever running back, and he can do a lot of different things and provide a lot of versatility that Nick Chubb can't exactly provide or doesn't provide nearly as much of. So I do think that he's valuable. And I think that on pretty much every other NFL team, he would be a starting running back. It just so happens that with the Browns, they already have an established number one guy, so he's been relegated to the number two position. But there's no denying that he helped the Browns return to the playoffs for the first time since 2002 in the 2020 season. He certainly helped lead them to their first victory in the postseason since 1994. So he does have value, and I do think that the Cleveland Browns should try to re-sign him. I think that again, the additional benefits of having him out there, he can spell Nick Chubb, allows Nick Chubb to remain a little bit fresher, perhaps a little healthier throughout the duration of the season. I think that that's important, especially when they have had such a run-heavy offense in recent years. Now, perhaps part of that was because of Baker Mayfield, and if you have Deshaun Watson as the starting quarterback, he can overcome perhaps a lack of depth at the running back position or even other deficiencies throughout a football team. But in the meantime, the run game has been so vital to the Browns' offense that I do think it's important to be able to give Nick Chubb a legitimate reprieve. And when you have a guy in Kareem Hunt who is reliable, he's productive at that number two position, I do think it's extremely worthwhile to keep him. Just like I think for the Dallas Cowboys, it's important to keep and pay Tony Pollard, because Zeke hasn't had the same tread on his legs ever since the last couple of years. But I think the conundrum that the Browns are in and that they face right now is their roster is way too talented to simply not sign some of the good players that they have on their roster. That's the problem. Their roster is too good and too talented to simply waste away a season. And I don't think that regardless of whatever sentence the NFL comes down on, whatever ultimately happens after the gavel is hit, and whatever is said to Deshaun Watson, whatever the punishment is, I don't think they're just simply going to try to accept that and be willing to be bad, because their team is too good. Their team is simply too good for that. So I don't think they should trade him, which they've come out and said they don't want to do. I think they should try to find some type of agreement and extend him if they can. That's what I believe.